Mommy, you basically see about Kotoso. People got sending me sicker from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should me promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
So I was doing the agency job, small people were laughing at me. Agent who doesn't have a place to sleep. How can agent be sleeping in a kiosk while you give people mansion to sleep in?
Today is a good day, and indeed it is, because sometimes for many people they get lucky and also unlucky at the same time for several reasons. Welcome to this week's edition. We tell you the story of the man they call the celebrity painter, Bright Hojo, whose story is an amazing journey from village life into the city. Today, he's the man that paints the Flagstaff House, or what we call the Jubilee House. Once again, welcome. I began our conversation by asking Bright to tell me about himself and what his upbringing was like.
My name is Bright Elom Iyao Hojo, popularly known as the celebrity painter. My parents are Clement Kwesi Hojo, that's my father, and my mother is Vera Akpene Abeye. Both of them come from Leklebi, Dugan, in the Volta region, where myself I come from. I started my school at Leklebi, Dugan, EP Primary. Okay, actually, before I come to Accra, I would say I was in class 6 by then. But my parents were in Accra, and I was staying with my grandmother. So it got to a time, they said, no, I have to leave the village and come to the city. So my mom came for me to Medina Estate. So when I came to Medina Estate, I stayed with my mom and my stepfather, because my father and my mother were no more. They have separated. So I was there for some time, and my stepfather said, no, I can't be with them. I need to go and stay with my father. My father, there is a stepmother there too, but I have no choice, I have to move. So I moved to Pig Farm to stay with them. But I was not comfortable because my stepmother, stepmother and their issues. So I was there for some time, I was not comfortable, so I called my mom to tell her the problems I'm going through. So from there, my mother came for me back from Pig Farm to Medina. So I have to start schooling by then. So they took me to Medina Estate Primary. And they took me to class 3. Meanwhile, I was in class 6 in the village. So imagine, when I came to Accra, Charlie, the learning is different. So I didn't know anything. So they sent me back to class 3. But I didn't say no, I will not go. So by then, that means I was a grown-up, more than the class 3 people. I have no choice. I have to be in that class and learn hard. So I was there. From there to JSS. So at the JSS, it was time for speech and prize giving day. I did marvelous things. I did school bus, I did the combo, I did helicopter for so many people to come and see. I even have it on tape and hard copy. So from there, when I completed JSS, because I was paying my own school fees by then, I have no money to continue or to further my education. So when I was with my mom and my stepfather, it got to a time my grandmom also came around. So she was frying bofrot and kose. So I used to take the kose and the bofrot to go and sell, sometimes barefooted, because there's nothing for me to wear. But I was not discouraged. And after the kose too, I used to go to UPS and Legon to wash things for students, for me to get something small. From there, because of food, I need to go to Presec to go and wait for the students. After eating, they're left over. I and my friends, that's what we go for. We package it and bring it home and eat. It went on for several times, just because of something to eat. So from there, I would say life became so challenging, and it got to a time my stepfather wants me out from the house. So I have nowhere to sleep. So I need to go and get a kiosk and uncompleted to lodging. That is where I was while the struggle was on.
Since there was no money at home to support your education, How did you break through in life?
After the GSS, I couldn't continue because of financial difficulties. So I have to go to Action Chapel. By then they were building Action. So I went there to do construction for a whole 1 year to pack money to further for my education. When I was doing the construction at Action Chapel, a friend of mine again came to me and said they are digging a gutter at East Legon and the money was better than Action, so you should go there to give it a try. So indeed, I followed him. When I went, the money was good. So I paused from Action to the digging of the gutter till they finish before I go back to Action, because Action always, because the job is big, they always want workers. So you can break and go and come back, they will take you because they don't have a choice, because they need workers. So I break from Action and I went to East Legon to go and dig gutter like for 2 or 3 months. After the gutter, then I went back to Action again to finish the construction over there to get my money through 1 year to further my education. So after that 1 year, I got money and I went to, my first choice was Kimbo Sectech. So I went there to deposit money there for them to be taking that money from my money till it got finished. So when I was in school too, I was doing mates, I was selling Kose and Bofrot and all that. I was doing mates from Accra to Circle to Medina. That was weekends. Whilst I'm supposed to be in, how do I say it? I was supposed to be in class, Saturday classes. But I don't go for classes because I needed money. So I've been doing this mate work. Sometimes I carry my classmates, I don't feel shy. I carry them, I carry my teachers from school on Saturdays. I don't feel shy for them to see me that I'm doing that job or not, because I know what I wanted. So from there, and I started small to this level.
So how did you actually come to become a painter?
So from SS, I know that I can't get money to further my education. So how do I have to do? I need to think what to do next. So because I was a Christian, so I've been going to church. So by then, there was a program in my church that needed people to go and do at Takoradi. That's a leadership course. So I was one of the appointees to go and represent the church for that course. So I went. So when the speaker was talking, he spoke about how to start your own business without a capital. So when I heard that, I said, wow, I need to be serious with this particular topic because I don't have anything and I want to be somebody in future as well. So after teaching, I jotted down my point. So when we were coming back to Accra, I was thinking, what can I do with my life? Because I have nothing. So, and because when I was in school, I used to do art. So art is part of me. So I was thinking, how can I bring my art work out for people to see? Here I am, nobody knows me. Okay, so from the talk, I realized that no, I can do something without a capital. So I was thinking about what should I start with. And something came into my mind as agency, as an accommodation, renting and all that. With that, I know I don't need to go and register. I don't need to use money. What I can do is get my board, write on it. I have this room for me to go around to search for the room. Then I start from there because I know with agency, you take registration. After registration, you take commission. So that's where I started from. So when I get to a single room, then I'll tell you, my brother or my sister, I'm a painter. If you can allow me to paint for you, that's where I started from. I started painting small. Sometimes when I paint, they don't pay me because I was nobody. Small. It got to a time I wanted to stop because by then too, I got a challenge from my stepfather. He said, still I have to move from where I was. It was a big challenge and a big blow to me. So, okay, what can I do? But I don't want to go back to my father again. So I used to go and sleep with friends. Sometimes when you go, they will not give you the chance. They will tell you their girlfriends are coming around. So I need to go and sleep in uncompleted, sometimes in a kiosk with mosquito and all that. But I was not discouraged. I said, no, I must make it because I know where I'm coming from. So I was doing the agency job, small. People were laughing at me. Agent who doesn't have a place to sleep. How can agent be sleeping in a kiosk while you give people mansion to sleep in? I didn't mind their comments because I know what I want. So I was there when a friend came to me and said, my brother, there's a guy who has a land and said he wants somebody to build on it. If he can do it, let's go and see the person. I said, okay, it's a good idea. So I followed the guy. We went to see the landlord. The landlord said, oh, I have this small place. I want somebody to build a single room on it. And I said, oh, why not? I can do it. So we went on agreement. I started the project with 100 cities. I get people to clear the place. Small. When I get 500, I go to the land. When I get 1,000, I go to the land. Any money I get, I go to the land. Till I finish the single room. By then, I used 6,000 to build a single room. So the agreement was I should stay in the building for 20 years. Then the landlord take the building. That was the agreement. So that was it. From there, I was there and I was doing the job small. With determination. So from there, I started getting money. So no, this time, people need to hear from me. So I started telling friends that when you get me a job, I'll give you 10% and all that. So jobs started coming because when I get a job, I pay the 10%. So people see that, wow, Charlie, this guy is trying. So anywhere I reach, I need to speak good about him so that job will come for him to pay my 10%. So from there, I was there. I said, no, this single room, I need to live there because now level is changing. So I moved from the single room to a chamber hall. I went to rent a chamber hall and I rented my single room to somebody. So I went to the chamber hall whilst I was still doing the job. Small, gradually. So it got to a time, it wasn't easy. The up and downs wasn't easy at all. So from there, I said, okay, what can I do next? I need to start teaching people because the job started, widening up. I can't do it alone. So I need to start training people. I need to start working with visual students so that the job will open. So from there, then I went to register. So through the registration, after training people, now I can, sometimes I need to relax to let them know what to do or not. So from there, I started doing advert, posting my works on Facebook, Instagram, and all that. I created my own page. Through the page creating, people started interviewing me from US, Nigeria, because of the jobs I do, how mind-blowing my jobs were. People started advertising on me. Through that, the thing blew up. And bloggers started entering. They call me, they talk to me, they interview me, then it went viral. From there, small. And I'll say, I go to where I am now. That was when I gave a lady chamber hall self-contained. And I told her I know how to paint. So I gave her the estimate and she gave me half payment for me to start. When I finish, she will pay the rest. So I finished the job. When I finished the job, she didn't pay me. She was tossing me, I'll pay you today, I'll pay you tomorrow. Later, she told me, now crowd is sky then. What are you going to use money for? I said, but madam, you gave me a contract and I finished my contract, so I expect you to pay me. But trust me, the lady didn't pay. She didn't pay me. And I have nothing to do because by then I was a beginner, so I have nobody to rely on. Who am I going to tell my story? So, I left it. I couldn't get that money. But I was not discouraged. I was still doing it. Other people pay, other people don't pay. But I was not discouraged because I know what I want. I know starting anything new is not easy. Me, myself, I know that starting something for people to accept you is not easy. You need to fail and continue doing it. When you fail, you continue doing it. It will get to a time. You'll be perfect. And people won't take you for granted again. So I was not discouraged. Yeah, so I would say painting I didn't learn painting. It is talent given to me by God. So I say when I'm doing painting, I don't hustle doing it. Like the way people see my work and they will say, wow, how many months did you use? How many days did you use? Whilst maybe I use only 1 day. Some of the jobs, when I use 1 day, people think I use months or weeks. It's because it's a talent. Talent, when we are going to do it, God directs you to do it. That is the difference between talent and somebody learning it. You see, I'm an SS graduate, but I teach people from university. Through my talent, I do seminar for university, secondary schools, and constituencies. Through my talent. So the talent is the best thing for everybody to build on, because that's what God has given you. But nowadays, people move from talent to other people's talent. That's why I see that people will be doing some things and they are not doing it right, because that is not what God has chosen them to do. So it is always good we build on the talent given to us from God. With that, you don't hustle, you don't suffer doing it.
You describe your painting as a talent. At what point in your life did you discover this?
I got to know my talent at the age of, I would say, 10 years. I started drawing small. That is why even at our speech and prize giving day at the JHS, I did so many things. I did Comel, I did helicopter, and I did school bus.
They call you the celebrity painter. How did that name come about?
How I got my name celebrity painter is from the way I work for celebrities and I work for prominent people. So one day, my friend just saw me and said, boss, the way you are working, the way you are helping people, doing seminar for people, one day you could be celebrated. So why can't you take the name celebrity painter? It will help you in future. So through that, and I got the name the celebrity painter.
Who have you worked for, and how big is your portfolio?
I would say, coming to my scope of work, or the people I've worked with, I would say I've trained people like 500 and above. I've trained people like 500 and above. And I've been doing seminar too for secondary schools, constituencies, and university. I would say the secondary schools, that's Pantech, and the university is Legon. Yeah, I went there to train them. And talking about the people I've worked with and the companies I've worked with, I can't remember all, but I can mention few. I've painted Action Chapel, Tema. I've painted ICGC, East Legon. I've painted Cocoa Board. I've painted for Stone Boy. I've painted for Mubarak Wakaso. I've painted for, let me say, so many people. I've forgotten. Okay, I've painted for Tony Yeboah, and I've painted GRA. I've painted. My latest job now is Flagstaff House. I painted Flagstaff House, and I've painted for so many estate developers: Manette, Trasaco, Black Rock Estates. So many of the estates. Painted them. I am their painter. I have contract with them. I'll be painting for them till. They can't go without me, and I can't go without them. Because they believe me, and I also believe in them.
Are you married? Got any children?
So talking about myself as a family, I would say I have 2 kids, 1 girl, 1 boy, but I'm not married. Yes, I was with a lady, but we are no more. We separated because of some 1 or 2 challenges. But we understood each other and we part ways.
You are a young man who has been able to break through in life. What would you say to other young people out there?
Okay, the advice I'll give to the young ones is they should look out for their talent, what God has given them. And they should stop this cyber fraud. It will not help them. Because when you build on your talent, I would say, Ghana people don't respect painters or they don't believe in painters. But I would say with me, with my work, when you meet me, you need to salute. Because I will let you know that the painting is not anything that you think is, you don't respect it. No, because of course, before you build, the only person that can bring the beauty of your building is a painter. So therefore, if you don't take a painter serious, then you yourself, I can tell you, you are not a serious person. Because for you to invest so much in your building, and for the person, the last person to bring your beauty out, you take that person for granted. I don't see why you should even build at the first place. So painters should never be taken for granted. And the youth too have to build on their talent. Because there's nothing that when you are focused, you can't reach where you want to be. You need to be focused, serious, and know where you are coming from. And build on your talent. And you'll surely be there. That's my advice to the youth.
You have received a lot of recognitions which you've displayed here in your room. Do you mind taking us through some of them?
So, I would say this is a citation from Talent Tahoof and Advanced Media through my seminar works that I've been doing. Yes, they are my backbone. Because every seminar, I have a team. They will come and talk to you. Celebrity painter want to come around to teach you people for free. We don't charge. I do seminar for free. So after the seminar, this is what they presented to me for a citation. Yeah, this is an award last year from GhanaWeb. I happened to win the Youth Empowerment for 2021 category. So this is the award I got from GhanaWeb. This is also another award. This award, I took it at Kempinski Hotel. It's the Whole Africa Award, special recognition, Africa.
Truly, they say everyone has got a story, and that's the story of Bright Yao Hojo that we brought to you on this episode on GhanaWeb TV with me, Eche Atisu. Remember, there is news for you when you visit www.ghanaweb.com. As always, be kind to one another.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the Digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Yeah, the motivation is that looking at the economy is very hard. There is no work for the youth. We are struggling to get something to, manage ourselves.
Akufo-Addo's government has been on a journey of expanding the country's tax base. One of the most recent ones is a 10% tax on earnings from lotteries, games of chances, or what we call sports bettings. This is Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Echi Atisu. We are here in Dome, Pillar 2. We're speaking with some young men who have been engaged in the act of betting, which is very popular. Let's speak to some of them. This is Richard. Richard, you are the one who penned the statement from the Concerned Bettors Association of Ghana. Okay, tell me, what exactly is the motivation to have penned that letter?
Yeah, the motivation is that looking at the economy is very hard. There is no work for the youth. We are struggling to get something to, manage ourselves. So street boys have been struggling to get something to go and try their luck, to get something to establish themselves. So if you are putting a 10% tax on betting, those who are betting, is something which is very bad, because already they have taxed the company. So if you are taxing those who are into betting, that is very bad.
It sounds like this is beyond just the monies you get. I want us to more or less understand where all of this is coming from. Why betting is such a big deal for all of you. Abednego, you also bet, right? Why do you actually bet?
Just to multiply my income. Yes.
So that's to say that the income you get already is not it's not enough for you?
Not at all.
At all?
Not at all.
At all?
Not at all.
Pablo, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Because let's take it. Last year, we were our fare was increased multiple of times. Like
that's our fuel, right?
Yeah, it was increased, and it affect our fare. So let's take it. I'm being paid 400 cedis a month, and I save 50 cedis every month out of my salary. And now it has been what? The fares has been increased several times, like 4 times or 5 times in that year. So if I'm earning that 50 cedis, I'm saving that 50 cedis for maybe to get a business being done. And now, because of the multiplier of the fares and things that are being, the economy we have all facing, then that means that 50 cedis I can save.
So that's to say that for you, it's being able to balance the increase in livelihoods,
yes,
and all of that. Levite, you also bet. Yeah. I want to find out, how long have you been betting?
For 4 years now, I would say.
4 years? Well, that's a long time. And that means that you've made a lot of money between the period?
Quite.
Sizable amount.
Yeah.
And you also agree with the likes of Pablo and Richard that this is to add up to your income?
Yeah, very true. Because, for instance, I'm a student, and it's not all the time that you can go to your parents for money. And right now, you don't have a really legit certificate for a job, so you can't get really a big job, that can fetch you enough income. So this is what we do, quite safe, And if you read the letter, things were captured in, if the government go ahead to implement this 10% on this winnings, then guys will go back to the dubious way of, getting money, which is very bad. So I think the government already is not, employing a lot of youths, and this gambling has made us, get something for ourselves and all that. So I think already we are paying tax. When you transfer mobile money from your account to your bet account, there's deduction. When you win, you transfer it from your bet account to your mobile money account. Even when you transfer it to your bank account, still there's deduction. So
the government is making an argument that they want to expand the tax margins in the country, and betting seems like a very big area now, which is where a lot of monies are coming from. You've admitted that you got a lot of money from there. Is that not the case?
I agree.
Francis, you also agree, because he has been doing this for 4 years. You as well, how long have you been?
Been betting is more than 7 years.
You be like you be the Methuselah for betting inside.
That's right. Yesterday like this, I made a bet sent to one of my guy. He staked the bet 300 cedis and he won 1,600. Oh, wow. Right. So if he took his 300 out, he make a profit 1,003. So if government, you wanted to take a tax 10%, but through the company of the bet, you tax them 25%. Either they win or they lose, you tax them 25%. So how can you wanted to tax the youth? We are struggling because no job. We are just struggling. I just win a bet to set my business. I employ people. I pay taxes.
You and I had an informal conversation before we started this, and you said you got the money to start your business from betting. That must have been some big cash, because I don't see, is betting that lucrative?
Yeah, if I don't stick, if I'm sticking bet, sometimes I stick bet 1,000 Ghana or 500.
And that gives you a return of
sometimes
how much?
I lose. So if government wanted to tax me 10%, so if you want to try to tell me that if I place a bet, I didn't win, you want to try, I should keep trying. If I win, then you take that 10%. No, that's not making sense to me at all.
That's an interesting, very, very interesting analogy you create there. This is Jupiter. Jupiter, you as well. You look like the calmer person, but I want to suspect that you are also as involved in betting as much as possible. How well or not is this betting thing for you? Because it seems everybody else agrees. Do you also think that it's like the best thing for a young man like you now?
Yeah, I think there is no job opportunity and the youth are struggling. And moreover, we are creating a chance for ourselves. And I want to ask the government, if you lose the bet, is it going to replace our money which we involve in the betting for the youth? That's what I want to ask the government.
How much or how many times does a person lose a bet? No, maybe for you. Let's take a situation. Yeah.
For me, I try and then try over and over. If I don't win, I try, and it's not all that. It's not all that time that you win the bet. So I want to.
I get your point, Richard. you have also been betting for long. You are like the boss here. Yeah. What's the highest, if you can tell me, that you've ever staked bet?
My highest stake.
Sometimes. What's the highest money you put into a bet?
Sometimes 500, 1,000, 700, and from 1,000 below.
So you've not done anything above 1,000 cedis. I see. Now, this is quite an interesting thing. All of you, or a number of you, have said that this is because there are no jobs. What kinds of areas or what kind of jobs are you looking out for that the issues of betting is solving now, that maybe perhaps the state authority should be looking at?
They should create job for the youths.
What kind of jobs are we
that they
talking
can
about?
pay, that they can pay well. Not that you create job that you pay 500, 600. No, because somebody can use 100 Ghana, stake, get about 50,000.
And that's from the comfort of their home.
Yes, and that 50,000, you can use that 50,000 to establish yourself. Like my brother is saying, he have won and used that money to establish this one and employ many people that he's paying tax here. So the betting is helping us a lot. So the government should rather pray for us to win and use the money wisely to do something so that they can tax the thing that we are using the money for.
Francis, you run the business. It's a barbering shop?
Yes, a barbering
Okay. How many people do you employ?
How many seats over here?
So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. I think there's
I
another.
have to use 6 but
Yes,
because
6.
of I.
Okay.
My other shop, I have
Yes.
7 workers over there.
So plus this.
Plus
So
this
that's
one.
like 14.
Yes. So I used to pay that. I pay taxes too. So I want to ask the government that the bets of the company, right? You tax them, right? And I heard that they said we the youth, we are lazy. We don't want to work. So that's why we are sticking the bet. So I wanted to, if they want the youth to stop sticking the, then they should stop the bet company.
But it's betting a lazy job.
It's not a lazy job. It's not easy. It's not.
Tell me how difficult or not.
It's not a lazy job. It's not easy to tell me that maybe Man City or Manchester. You said, oh, Man City will win. I'm not the one going to play the ball. It's just the confidence I have. I have confidence Manchester will win, and I just put my money on it. And Manchester won, and you say, oh, Manchester have won, so the money have won. So I have to, if maybe I stick a bet, maybe 1,000 cities, maybe I'll do maybe 2 odds, 1,000 cities, I win 2,000. If I win 2,000, if I take my 1,000 out, I made profit 1,000 cities. So government want to tell me that my 1,000, you take 10% out of it.
But 10% is it so much?
It's too much. You want to take 10%.
It's not even so much. It's actually too much.
Too much. So I wanted to ask, okay, if I didn't win, so government want to try to tell me that I should keep trying. I should keep trying. So if I don't have money, I'll go and still going to use it to stick a bet. Or am I lying?
Which is not something any of us wants. Levite, you are in school. Doesn't betting take you away from your books?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Because I feel the sense that you have to spend a lot of time on your phone and do all the permutations. It doesn't take you away from your books.
No. Right now, it's much easier to place a bet. Gone are the days you have to go to the betting centers to, place your bet. But now, in the comfort of your home, anywhere you are, you can place it. And now there are a lot of odds platforms. On Telegram, you can get on WhatsApp, Facebook, on Twitter.
So it's not just on the apps that...
No, you can get odds from places. People even sell them. If you trust them, you send your money, they give you the odds and you place it.
Oh, that's new to me. Interesting.
People sell the odds. So it's not really time consuming. And if you know what you're doing, you just do it and you're done.
Richard, I want to come back to you because you are the one who heads the group. How big of a market, let me call it that, is the betting market? How many people, just give me a number, actually, maybe Dome, how many people do you think actually engage in betting?
I can say, it's a lot. We are many here.
When you say a lot, can you give me a figure?
Like,
Abednego, you seem to have a number.
More than 70%.
70%
Yes.
of the
People living
indigents here in Dome.
Yes. And if you take Ghana, the whole country, We are about more than 80% of the population. Big
man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ministers?
Yes.
We know them. They have been calling us for us and all that. I know ministers who have been calling for us. Big people have been calling me for us. And I've been giving
Richard, I want us to get this. You've had a minister call you?
Yeah, of course.
A minister of state? And they want
people. Yeah, big people. People have been, we know them. They have been calling us. I can't mention names, you know. They have been calling for us Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My phone, forget it. They have been calling for us. Can you give him 10 us? I have 5,000. I need 10 us. I need 5 us. I've been doing for them. So
you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a point here. Let's say, let's take this month for example. If I try, let's say throughout the month, and I win once, it means I lost more than what I win. If I lose 1,000 cedis, I can win 500 cedis. If you take 10% out of it, am I making gains or losses? I'm losing.
So there's also the whole question about, just so that we get this into more perspective. Yes. The decision to bet is left to you. When the government wants to tax, like they do for everything. In fact, they're having conversations about things like even sanitary pads that are taxed. And I'm trying to just establish why bets should not be taxed at all. Because if you lose, is that not your decision to have gone into it and you lost?
Yes. So do they care about how I make money to bet? Are they interested in that? They are not interested in my losses. I try more than, let's say today, for example, I spent more than 50 cedis already. I don't know how much I'm going to make at the end of the day. So if, let's say, I spent 50 cedis and then I won, let's say 200 cedis, profit of 150 cedis, you take 10% out of it. Where am I going?
Jupiter, you were saying something. I'll come to you, Francis. Jupiter, you were saying something that they're having pastors.
Yeah, they're having pastors who are calling for odds and even into betting.
You know any pastor? Like
yeah, I know, but
a man who is clerical.
Yeah, clerical.
And they come to you for.
Well,
what would be the motivation for a pastor to leave his faith and his trust in God, who is able to do all things, to come and ask you for?
Yeah, because there are some pastors who said betting is not a sin. I even debated on that with a pastor. He said it's not a sin. Yes.
There's a story of Jesus actually sacking people from the temple because they were gambling. Is that not the same thing? And the pastor says it's not.
Oh, but I emphasize on the betting, and they said betting is not a sin. Yeah.
Very interesting. Francis,
I wanted to ask the government that I hope it tax the company of the bet. So if you wanted to tax us, then just go to the bet and tell them, okay, maybe that 20% I used to tax you people, I want to increase it. Because if the bet people, if they are not making profit, then they have to go. They are making profit. That's why they are more coming. They are making profit. So if government is the bet of making profit, you think the youth, now we the youth, or we are into betting, so you wanted to tax us. No, that one, I'm not.
Are you for an outright no tax, or you think that it is just too much?
No, me, I can. If I want to say, if we are sticking the bet, government, you don't have to tax us. Because at all, because
not even a percent.
Because if I wanted to deposit into my bet account, e-levy, you would deduct me. If I win bet, I took the money, deposit into my account, you take your percentage. So why the bet company, you not increase their money you used to tax them? If you tax them, the bet people don't want to reduce their odds, we are okay.
Levite.
I believe not taxing bet earnings, I think we can't say he shouldn't tax.
So you agree that at least some tax should be on it?
At least.
So give me a figure.
From 1 to 3. Because according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, you are supposed to pay as you earn. That's the pay as you earn. And that one it has to be paid monthly. But the government is telling me if one day I have 10 slips and I win, he's taking 10% from each slip. That's not right. When we are paying as we are winning, or we are paying as we are earning, that one, even that analogy, it fits in, but it shouldn't be daily. when he's taxing us, he should tax us monthly according to the pay as you earn. And even with the income tax, is we pay on year assessment. The whole income you get in a year, we assess it and we deduct. But the government is not doing that. He's taxing us daily, every single day. When you have 50 slips and we win all, he's taking 10% from each slip. And I don't think it's right.
Okay. All right. So apart from Francis, I don't get a clear understanding of what exactly all of you use. But this question will go to everyone. I'll start with you, Richard. What do you use your income from betting for?
I was able to get taxi and Uber, and I have a boutique which I've been operating.
All in your name?
Yeah.
I bet nego.
Yes, a plot of land in my name.
You bought a
from
land?
betting. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And Pablo, how about you?
Me, I just started show for almost 2 years now.
Hey, that's just started.
Yes.
2 years is just started.
But it has really helped me because my income I work and receive is not to write home about.
I see. And then Jupiter.
I just entered.
You two just entered. How long is it just entered? Now
Not quite ago.
Which is how long?
2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months. You were a baby. So at least. But have you won something?
Yeah.
You've won something in the last 2 months. And Francis, you are the one who has a business.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
Yeah.
what other thing do you?
Through this bet, I had a land. I built 2 bedrooms for my mom is staying inside right now because of betting.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So now you don't even need to work in a corporate world or anything.
No,
you
I'm
can do betting all your life.
No, I'm still hustling.
You're still hustling. Levites, you are in school. Do you use the money to pay fees or something?
No, my fees there for my.
It's sorted.
Yeah, it's sorted. But
What is your-
I've been able to rent. I've moved out from the hostel.
Okay.
Yeah, so through betting, I've been able to rent my own place.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, very.
All right. So, well, we're still on the conversation. We are at Dome Pillar 2, and we're just discussing the whole new tax of 10% for winnings on lotteries or games of chances for all the betting people, anyone who bets at all. The government now wants to tax a 10% tax on whatever your earnings are. When we return, we'll go more into the conversation. All right, so we're still here with some young guys in Dome Pillar 2. We are discussing the issue of betting and the government's new 10% tax on all winnings from lotteries and games of chances. Now, Francis, we had an informal conversation before we returned. I just want to hear it. You say you introduced someone. Who is that person?
Oh, I introduced my girlfriend to bet.
So when you introduce her, tell me.
It's not that every day. Maybe sometimes if maybe I do a bet, maybe if I know that this bet is strong bet, I have confidence this bet, I'll just give it to him. Stick this amount. Or sometimes I'll send him money. This amount, stick it. Don't reduce it.
And so you mentioned that you have more than an app for betting. How many apps do you use?
I have Betway.
Okay.
I have Sportybet. I have M Sport, and I have Superbet.
That's 4. That's 4. And all of these bring you some returns.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Now, I am a very intrigued person. So I'm just wondering, apart from all the things you have told me, Levite, I want to start with you. Is betting addictive?
Very, very, very addictive. If you don't take care, you think that you are saving, and you have to collect your money back, and that is a very dangerous thing. You try every day and you don't win. The day that you try to, today I'm tired, I won't stick. But maybe you had certain games in your head. That day, that games is going to play. You understand? So the next day, you don't have any choice than to stick again. Maybe the day that you say you not stick, that day the bet will play.
Purely a game of chances, right? But you're still in it. You're still in it. Pablo, you're shaking your head. Why are you still in it?
Because
beyond all the fact that it's very addictive.
yeah, it's addictive, like addicted if you are not careful. But it depends your mindset. it's really risky. Like it's a risky work to do, but because of our work, the work that we are doing, the income, we are not getting it. So there's nothing you need to do because I can't go and steal.
And all of the guys are on their phones. I hope you are not betting whilst we are here. That would have been serious because I'm already asking about addictions. So if you were doing that right, yeah, I'll be wondering. But beyond the addiction, Richard, is it true that people go for gbala to do? What I mean by gbala is they go for juju and all that to do betting.
Yes, I don't believe in those things, but sometimes I hear people saying that. For me like this, somebody have called me, telling me I should come, he will do something for me, and you win. By me, I don't believe in those things.
But does it work?
I'm not sure because it's about thinking and research. You have to do research about the things and think and pray for favor. Not that you go for somebody to give you some agbala or something. It's about thinking and research.
I see. Thinking, research. You people mentioned women, so now I am also wondering how many women actually bet. Do women bet?
Women bet.
You apart from your girlfriend.
Yes, a lot.
They bet. I bet they go, why you know someone, that's your sister or someone you know bet.
No.
You don't know anyone who bets?
Any lady.
Okay. How about you, Jupiter?
No, I don't know.
You don't know any?
I don't know anyone.
Okay. Levite, you know why some of your colleagues?
Yeah, I know.
Your mates as well.
My classmates, ladies who we are in a group, and I send them out. Yeah, and when they also get some from somewhere, they post it in a group and we all stick it. So a lot of ladies are into bet.
So this is not just a men's thing.
Not at all.
But why does it seem like it's only men who bet?
You see, the ladies, they don't really come out to admit it, but they do.
They do.
Yeah, they come to our DMs and ask for what they do. They really bet. Yeah.
Interesting. Now let's look at the way forward. 10% tax is going to really happen as it is. What would happen when it starts? Richard, let's start.
We are just appealing to the government not to introduce that 10%, because it's something that's going to worry us. Because there's no money in the system. The system is very hot. We are trying to get something from here to go and try our luck, get something big and establish ourselves. So if you are taxing the company and you want to tax me as well, it's something which is very bad.
I asked this question earlier. Do you want an outright no implementation or you want a reduction?
No implementation.
At all?
At all.
Not at all. So how about you, Abenego? It will happen eventually.
Yes, but if it does, I think it's a lazy way of making money. Yeah, that's what I think.
You think the government is just trying to capitalize on people's smartness and earnings?
Petty company is paying tax. If they are paying tax, I don't know why their customers must be taxed when they earn money from betting. You understand? Because they are not interested in what I'm losing. If I lose 100 cedis today and I'm able to win, let's say 300 cedis tomorrow, and you take 10% out of it, I think that's a lazy way of making money.
Pablo?
Yeah, I think if the tax is being implemented, it will rather bring a lot of criminal activities on the street, because at times I get money out of some of it and I help some of my brothers around. So it limits.
This one will reduce your money eventually.
And it limits the number of people like trying to make money on the street, like attacking people, taking their phones and other things, because they can get help from me. So since they can't get help from me or another person, they'll go back to the street and taking people's phone.
Jupiter, you as well, what would you do? Because like I'm saying, it's really going to happen.
Oh, it's very hurtful if they implement the 10%, because the company is paying the tax of the 10%, and we.
I think the companies pay what, 25?
25. And we, the individual, is paying 10%. It's very hurtful. It's very hurtful. And is the government going to refund our money as we lose or not?
Interesting. Francis, you as well.
If the government know that maybe we make a lot of money in the bet, they need money. they should come inside and try and see. That's yes. They should come. The government need money. You should use the country's money to stick a bet and win and use it to. If you know that we are making money, you should come in and try.
All right. All of you speak very passionately about betting and all that. Are you spiritual people? Do you believe in the things of the afterlife? Do you believe in things like that? Now I'm going to ask you a question. If somebody told you that your lives depended on not betting, meaning that if you stopped betting, you would live long, who would go for that gamble? You are shaking your head.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Yes.
Hypothesis. Imagine that was the case.
I don't believe in that.
You don't believe
yes.
in
things the only thing that can make you live long is knowing the truth. Yes.
And one of them is betting.
Oh yes.
You have money, you live long.
So far as I'm not stealing the money I used to bet, I make legit money to bet. So it's not affecting anybody. That's not a sin to me.
Levite, how about you? You are told that when you stop betting, you have a good life and everything.
I will stop.
You will stop?
Yeah, I will stop. I think I will.
Is that to say that you actually see yourself one day stop betting?
Obviously. I won't do it till the end of time. Obviously, some way, somehow, along the line, I'll stop.
You stop.
But the earlier question you posed to the guys, whether they are for outright no implementation or not. As I mentioned earlier, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, you have to pay as you earn. And we agree that the government can tax that. But the 10% is too much. And even the pay as you earn is supposed to be paid monthly. So if the government is taxing us, he should do it monthly. Calculate all the money we get through betting.
But would that not be the same? Because if I take the money now or I take it later, is that not the same?
Putting my monthly earning there and taking 10%, that is different from taking 10% out of my slip.
Everyone.
In a day, if I have like 10, I have 10 slips and I win all, they are going to take 10% from each slip. And I think it's too much. So maybe from 1%, this is the very first time we are hearing of this. So you shouldn't start from 10. Because if he sees that it's very lucrative, he's going to increase it. Maybe from 10 to 15.
Interesting. All right, I want to thank you all very much, Richard. But before we leave, just a final one. Do you see yourself actually stop betting one day?
Oh yes, for sure.
You want to stop one day?
It's when I make a lot of money from it and establish myself well.
How much is a lot of money?
Right now, if I get like maybe 400,000 or 400,000 from betting now, I'm sure I can use that money to do something which will generate income for me. So I'll stop. And maybe the new ones will come in again.
All right. I'm most grateful to all of you. Thank you, Levite. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Jupiter, Pablo, Abednego, and then Richard. So that has been our conversation here. Betting, 10% tax. Whether it would actually happen or not, we are yet to tell. This has been Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Eche Atisu. Remember, you can go to www.ghanaweb.com for news. Until another time, stay safe.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting edition of BizTech on GhanaWeb TV with me, Mauli Aholemega. On this week's episode, we'll talk about identity theft within the context of SIM swap fraud. My guest is Eric Mensah, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. Eric, welcome to BizTech. How are you?
Thank you very much, Molly.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How are things going on at the Bureau?
Oh, yes, we are doing very well. In fact, we are seeing some increase in awareness in terms of security awareness, and we are very excited. There are a lot of developments that are going on in the ecosystem from the regulatory side to the private sector and the rest, and we are very excited. We hope that cyber hygiene would go further. Institutions would actually embrace the new era of cybersecurity and securing their systems. And also thanks for inviting us to speak on such an important subject matter.
Eric, thank you too also for welcoming us here. So we want to delve straight into the topic for today, which is identity theft. I see we are beginning to see a rise of these incidents. What exactly is identity theft for those who don't have any idea?
Basically, identity theft, as the name denotes, it's a fraud that someone picks your personal information and then uses it for some fraudulent activity or any illegal activity. So that is identity theft for you. And like I have explained, the criminal will now use your information to do fraudulent stuffs, like, you know, creating a new account. It can also even go to the extent of stealing business information to, you know, create fake business accounts. So that's identity theft. It can be both online or even physical. Yeah.
So just from your point of view, why are we seeing these incidents on the rise? Is that as a result of a lot of more people are using mobile phones and a lot more people are having access to the internet? What contributes to this identity theft?
Identity theft has been on the rise because, of course, people are not aware of the risks that they face, especially online. The mobile phone penetration has gone very high, and it means also that the criminals will also try to, you know, deploy schemes that will target online systems. And of course, because security consciousness is very low, people fall prey to identity theft. And I know that we might be discussing some of the modus operandi and the rest. So I'll just pause here and then we move forward.
Yeah, speaking of pause, we'll just go straight into it. How does one know that the identity has been stolen, and how does this entire identity theft process go for, especially on the criminal end and also the receiver as well?
There are several modus operandi that the criminals use to commit identity theft. First off is something we call phishing. So basically, the criminal try to use either emails or other social media channels to get you to, you know, divulge some personal information about yourself to them. And there have been a couple of instances where people's identity had been stolen through the phishing scheme, and at the end of the day it ends up the criminals using their accounts to, you know, fraudulently acquire some worth or funds from their clients. Aside the phishing, criminals also, you know, engage with insiders. When I say insider, it means that people that have access to personal information about people. Okay, so they engage with them and they procure some of this identity theft identities from them. There is also something we look at, we talk about, that is data breaches. It has come up a lot, and you see big social media organizations falling prey to data breaches. So, of course, criminals are able to get personal information from that angle, and they'll use that to, you know, fraudulently, you know, defraud people. So those are some of the angles. Even sometimes we have seen that there are instances where physically criminals steal identity documents of people, and they use that to
physically. You mean like when they steal your phone or something?
So they can steal your phone. They can even steal your ID cards.
Okay, yeah.
So let's say your Ghana card or whatever card that you use, they steal it. Of course, it has your name and IDs numbers on them. So they steal them and they use that to, you know, commit fraud.
That's very interesting, Eric. But I want to understand. When I was doing my research, I saw something about SIM swap fraud. Is it in correlation to identity theft, or it's just a certain model of identity theft? If you can give us an explanation on that.
SIM swap basically is a criminal going to a telco or using other means to, you know, take your phone number from you. So they go to the telco, typically one modus operandi that we've seen, they pre-test and act as if they are you, and tell them to swap your number from that particular SIM card to another SIM card. So they do that mainly because, you know, right now there is that rise in the use of mobile financial services and the rest. So if they are able to do the SIM swap, they are able to use those numbers to receive OTPs, two-factor authentication codes and the rest, to be able to proceed with their fraud. Okay, so that is what SIM swap is. Now, how does this come into play when it comes to identity theft? It's a chicken and egg kind of situation. Some criminals can use identity theft to swap SIM. Wow. So that means that they impersonate you and go to the telco. They pretend they are you with your information, and they use that information to swap your SIM. The other angle is they can also go to the telco, speak to them, swap your SIM, and then with your SIM number in their hands, they can do the identity theft. They can impersonate you, take money from your accounts and the rest.
That's a very sinister move. Yeah, but Eric, I've been learning quite a lot from you. I'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. I've been speaking with Eric Mensah, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. We've been talking about identity theft and how to combat the menace. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from that break on BizTech. I've been speaking with Eric Mensah, and he's a lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. Eric, I've been having a very interesting conversation with you about identity. I've been learning quite a lot, but one thing that strikes my mind is I've been seeing people, mobile money numbers being hacked, where they will receive a message from somebody saying, join us on this mobile money number and all of that. Is this in the context of identity theft?
Very well. Of course, it's in a context. The reason being that these criminals are now trying to mimic the telecommunication organizations. So they will typically send you a message, and you realize that the user ID of the message tries to mimic a name of a telco. And when you look at it critically, you realize that no, it is not the exact name. There are some letters that have been added to it. So it falls squarely within the context of identity theft. Okay, and what we advise is that when it comes to some of these messages, when people receive them, they should be cautious, because of course, I don't want to mention the name of any telco here, but when you get messages from such people, you can even look at the grammar of those messages, and you know that no, this is not from the telco. So they should be cautious.
Now, Eric, let's come to the economy. What is the danger of this specific type of fraud, and what are the potential impacts on the economy?
One of the very direct impacts is financial loss. Of course, when there is identity theft, finances oftentimes, per our analysis, is involved. Let me give you a typical trend that we have seen at E-Crime. That's WhatsApp account takeover. Now, what we have realized is that criminals then take over people's WhatsApp account, and I mean sometimes these people have good reputation, and when they take over their WhatsApp accounts, they now share into groups that they belong into, that, oh, I'm doing some investment, and send some money to me, and your money will double, your money will triple, and all that. And when they do that, per our analysis and some reports that we have received, there are lots of people that have lost huge sums of money to that, because they believe that the person who is sending them that information is the genuine person that they know. Unknowing to them, it's the person's WhatsApp account that has been compromised, and the person a criminal now sending messages in the name of that person. So that is a very direct impact that we have seen, financial loss. Another angle is emotional and psychological distress. Of course, it's very demoralizing if you see that your identity has been used for an illegal activity, and this is something that we would have to take note of as citizens. It's really, really critical. Another key thing that I want to talk about is about the pressure on the economy. When I say pressure on the economy, yes, it sounds very huge. But you see, recently in Ghana, there are things that are happening around identity theft. And the regulators, the telcos, and the powers or stakeholders that be are now, they will have to now spend a lot of money to put in structures to, and systems to be able to, manage the situation. So it's also an impact. It's a danger that we have seen. Another key thing I would like to add is the loss of trust and confidence in online and financial systems. Of course, if things like this are happening, the general populace will lose trust in online systems because they know that somebody can quickly and smartly, steal their identities and use that for an illegal activity.
Eric, I've been learning quite a lot from you, but finally, are there some tools out there that people can use to curb or fight identity theft? And what advice would you give to especially young people, mobile phones, or any other age group?
I would take this from two angles. First, from the business angle, then I talk about the people, the social people in there. So first off, for the business angle, they would have to be very cautious on their online portals. There have been instances where you go to social media and you see a shop online and try to purchase something from that shop. You get to realize that no, it's a fraudulent shop. And what I'm talking about is not like a criminal has set up his or her own name for the shop. Reputable organization. What they have done is that they try to, use names of reputable organizations to create other accounts on social media.
So basically, there's somebody on the back end picking up the information.
Not necessarily the back end.
Okay.
I just see, let's say, ABC Enterprise, and it's very, very, reputable. I go to IG, I go and create an account, abc.enterprise.
So something
something very small, and I use that to, commit fraud. So businesses would have to be very cautious. They should have that monitoring mechanism on social media platforms and other online platforms. Now, for us watching individuals, first off, to protect your identity, you have to make sure you share minimal information about yourself online.
That's your personal information.
Personal information about yourself online. Sometimes you see people post any and everything about themselves, including snapshots of their IDs to prove a point to people. It's very, very dangerous. Passports and the rest. So it's very important that you keep it safe in there. Also, we advise that you have strong and complex passwords for your accounts, because I did mention about the phishing attacks and the rest. Yes, we have to create strong passwords, and even in addition to the passwords, there's something we call the two-factor authentication or the multi-factor authentication, where when you set your system up, you get a notification or you get an alert of a code of a source for you to insert. Yes, good. Before they're able to access your account. When you do that, criminals, even after stealing your passwords and the rest, can't be able to access your account because there's another layer of security. And then also, let's be mindful and set our privacy properly on social media platforms. So, on social media platforms, there are privacy settings. It's very important you go in there, try to limit the amount of information that is publicly available. Unless, of course, somebody is your friend, they can't see certain information. So that is very, very, very critical. And always be vigilant. Do not click on links that you are not expecting. Suspicious links. You are in WhatsApp groups and they share links. Oh, click here and you win ABC, and you get this. You go to America, you get free data and the rest. Please, let's be cautious. Let's avoid clicking on such links.
Eric, thank you so much. I've learned quite a lot from you in this episode. I've been speaking with Eric Mensah from the E-Crime Bureau, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the Bureau. He's been my guest on this week's edition, where we've been talking about identity theft and how to combat the menace. Before we go, don't forget to log on to our website, www.GhanaWeb.com, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the GhanaWeb. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Mali Aholimega. Please do stay for Biz Headlines.
Welcome to Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella Jejom Sugli. Now to our very first story. Government secured 1.79 billion from the sale of treasury bills in its latest auction on April 17, 2023. The auction saw an oversubscription of 125.8 million, even though interest rates have been rising. The target for this week's auction was 1.66 billion. Also, interest rates have increased slightly to an average of between 19.74% to 26.9%. According to the results from the central bank, the government secured 1.48 billion Ghana cedis from the 91-day bill, 227.11 million from the 182-day bill, and 87.81 million from the 364-day bill. An economist, Professor Eric Osei-Asibe, has projected that Ghana's fiscal outlook may reduce to about 6.6% by the end of 2023. According to him, his prediction is premised on the government's fiscal consolidation measures established as it seeks a 3 billion International Monetary Fund bailout by May 2023. In their recent projections, Fitch Solutions pegged Ghana's fiscal outlook at 6.6%, while the IMF predicted that the fiscal outlook of the country will be pegged at 7.3%. Speaking on the theme, Ghana's medium-term outlook, navigating through economic uncertainties amid an IMF at DBG GAB economic presentation, Professor Eric Osei-Asibe was optimistic that government will reduce its expenditure drastically to keep a positive economic outlook. Moving on, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Owusu, is incensed over what he calls over-exploitation of Ghanaians by members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. According to the Bekwai MP, GUTA has lost the moral right to complain about tax hikes, alleging that members of the association underdeclare their products and also overprice their goods to gain huge profit margins. Joe Wise, who is unhappy with the current development, was reacting to concerns raised by GUTA over the introduction of the 3 revenue bills approved by Parliament. According to the association, their members are already struggling with their businesses, insisting the 3 revenue measures will impose additional hardships on them. On the same matter, the Ghana Union of Traders Association responded to claims by the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Owusu, that GUTA was exploiting Ghanaians by overpricing their goods. Now, GUTA in a response said, he, Joseph Osei-Owusu, should know that the authority vested in him is by the people of Ghana, and therefore he cannot impose his will on Ghanaians, let alone members of the business community who constitutes the economy of Ghana. Most members of the trading community are more intelligent, educated, knowledgeable and resourceful than him, Joe Wise, but for the privilege he has, he should have known better and be mindful of his utterances and speak with decorum in order not to subject himself to public ridicule and insult, a statement by the Ghana Union of Traders Association quoted. The Energy Minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says he supports the Electricity Company of Ghana to retrieve every peswa owed the company. This, according to the minister, is part of overarching efforts to ensuring that the company remains viable to deliver efficient service to consumers. Dr. Prempeh made these assertions when he led the ECG's Revenue Protection Task Force to two companies that owed ECG various sums of money. The minister, during these two engagements, bemoaned the situation where companies pile up bills for a very long time and refuse to pay.
When ECG began this program, I always communicated to the management that I'll demonstrate our support for this program by physically visiting one or two entities with them. And that is what I've done today, and probably I'll do on Friday. The ECG, I think, said that the amount of money that they intend to collect or has not been paid over a certain period was over 5 billion. I would like to know, when they finish the program, how much they've been able to collect and why they were not able to collect probably 80% of the bill. I don't believe in success factors we cannot all clap to. If they think the program has been successful, they must demonstrate it in how much they've retrieved. If not, what has caused their inability to retrieve it, and what plans are they having for subsequent visits.
Still on the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has revealed that about 2.5 million crude condensation allocation made to the Tema oil refinery is reportedly missing. According to the minister, the fund was part of a business opportunity for the refinery to produce premix fuel from condensates from Ghana gas.
There's a top management and the board, right?
But as
I mean, it's easy to always say there's a sector minister, and as soon as the minister does something, oh, the minister is interfering. The same journalist around would accuse me if I go and I say I'm going to demand these changes. They will say, but they're Ghanaian workers, but there's a management. We all have to decide as a country what we want. We live under the type of system that we want, right? I can tell you as a minister what I've done. Right? I gave Tor a new business opportunity in the premix fuel market. That all the condensate from Ghana gas should go to Tor and use it for blending and premix fuel, right? The last time I heard, over $2.5 million worth of condensate that got missing from Tor. If we all want Tor working, we don't want another ECG in Tor, do we? Because it will break the back of government, the bills in Tor. They have over $500 million of debt sitting on there. And go and look at how the debt's accumulated. People bring their crude to refine, and then crude losses. I set up a committee that worked for 8 months just trying to reconcile Tor losses. My sister, you don't pay taxes for it to be a drain. You pay taxes for an efficient function of government. Government, I can tell you, is doing so much work to bring Tor together. As we speak, there are proposals lying down in Tor. The Attorney General is having a look, SIGA is having a look, Finance Ministry. Because you same journalists will come and say, government has sold Tor to its cronies if we don't get it right. And getting it right is a difficult proposition that we are putting out. And we will work diligently to give Ghanaians what is good. Petrol has not shot in this country, or petrol is not scarce in this country because Tor is not working, is it? So if Tor is come to work, it has to come with the efficiencies for which it can allow to participate in the market. We are not going to say Tor because Tor is Tor. Tor will bring in petrol products that me and you cannot buy. You will turn around and tell, the old system was better, right? So we'll work to get it right.
The Ghana Statistical Service has revealed that Ghana's economy grew by 3.1% by the fourth quarter of 2022. According to the GSS, the growth beat the forecast set by the government of Ghana. Government statistician Professor Kobne Nim, presenting highlights of the provisional 2022 fourth quarter and annual GDP estimate, said when seasonally adjusted, Ghana's real GDP increased by 0.8% in the fourth quarter of 2022, representing 0.3 percentage points higher than what was recorded in the third quarter of 2022. The key subsectors that contributed to the economic growth were mining and quarrying, information and communication, public administration, defense and social security, crops, and education. In more news, the Electricity Company of Ghana has revealed that it has been able to retrieve about 2 billion Ghana cedis from customers in the last few weeks. Managing Director of the Power Supply Company, Samuel Dubik, explained that the company's revenue mobilization campaign is geared towards recouping some 5.7 billion from individuals and firms who have failed to pay for power used. According to him, he's optimistic his outfit will retrieve more money from defaulters by the end of the week. Quote, "We have collected in excess of 2 billion Ghana cedis. That is less than half of what we targeted. But we have one more week to go before I'm able to give my fears. I'll sit down, do an assessment, and then see. Why are people not paying? We'll disconnect and prosecute them." End quote. Many thanks for watching Biz Headlines this week. For more of our news stories, please log on to our website at www.ghanaweb.com. Also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Ghana Web. Also on YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella J. Jomsugli. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.
Now,
Obek Kanukre. Susu sang kwai bia want on am bia man in kwai bebre.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in so unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 for the first transaction. With this send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Obinum sada na obrafo responded and the main can was because obrafo do papa pehin onu ankasa na nim ne ntia obtake sa move no but say the asema that person say we sue a Drake $10 million or looking forward say in damages Elizabeth betumi akasa ske. Killer cat, and come on GhanaWeb TV. So she has an answer. I'm a brony. Entertainment news, celebrity news, just social media trends. I said, come on, we and near de, and I'm the name cancel the and same recon. Come on, break wa paso. A year or brafo, I'm gonna rap soft for any drakes. You always soon be the muslim in Abba. I shall more didn't who about bed bomu and I am mancha, you quenum in and something in Amikrita where there, yen cabin jabby, you didn't in Abram. My yen try home. Now your coba. My brony semno theater bank. Mesanso Emma akwaba nkomo ho on GhanaWeb TV na de kasia bono emuye hwaman kasa ai me borrow the words of a brafo. So what here yampa Ghana rap sofo si osiu Canadian rapper a Drake I obekaya last year nyumbi or the betu calling my name na numu eno sample some few lines fee obrafo nyuma wo friend oyo hine of feature tiny waso na and seven ko buy ne say Drake release his album 2022 album na manfote calling my name omote except of it some cousin I say obrafo we ne no na betu just no kware no a ni nyina mu say wo chirema Drake any management reach out to obrafo so mu pese mu use ohine some part bi na what sound be killer cat no honom no pese mu use but akokoye so obrafo an respond ohun an say che say wo de ahye nyom yi ma che say ebogu che say onkofo di twa won na ase na yimu na last year na asem ni see but afi 2023 April ya na bitu just say obrafo or the wo tabri no ekokot che say wo baba kokoko kaka asem na e court na o demand damages you say copyright nsem de eba na say wo default dia who betumi aye show pa obrafo che mo pay $10 million ebi wo 10 million Ghana city so US dollars DB Joe Biden sikai pin up 10 million in damages no for me ebe to dwa no for say no brafo sky dey endorse na me say hwe obi be fa we adwuma na wo de wo beti asade mu de mu nim ne ekọ mu nim ne ewo mu ntina se na ye nkyere mu eba copyright nsem de say would for the na fine say court buase who use property without only panic consent na say what na say na work asem ni nyina ewie na say would for hu betumi ahye pa na obrafo suit betu dwa ena manfo kekembu ze ko social media trends beda number 1 ene obrafo we siu no on confan che no binum sada na obrafo an responded ene de main kan was because obrafo do papa pehin onu ankasa na nim nti a obtake sa move no but say the asema that we siu Drake $10 million or looking forward say in damages Elizabeth betumi akasa ske na some betu dwa na manfo bobo ho aye nim say anka ne de esi say ye kan say Ghana food dey say na say obrafo to me win case ya ene betumi nya sika pudo na me unse ko basi jobi say Nigeria be bon dem kokoko say obrafo say wuchi attack so na fan kosi but no dey yenkoda nchen and some ne buy na topic trends social media and me who say mancha ayikwe and so that last ma be so chema last year or reach out to obrafo because killer cat sound no mu use wo oyo hine intro no o say ne property ochema obrafo kampo enchia no you get what I'm saying no dey no oka into o say you because so crampa e say wo bomu look it's been a partnership but who an say obrafo dey to just osiu but also earlier or reach out to Obrafo and they between on mobile some of the abetuja I was Twitter and I miss me munchum ebrel now so you better to Jana Fuchema oh now say asem na but say asem no say mu looking for some best settle e court in timpo sanko Obrafo ekonim nanko owini case ya nanka $10 million is a wode mana wonya sure sanka obe why bi kakra ma manchese wo manchese kele cars sa we sound na ye wo anti anka pebe bi kakra na fashion say bia o man 1 million crampa sanka obe twetwa ne ho ba manfo twem a wo say asem ne de akwa ete say bia manfo ka so Obrafo asem na ye de na manche so ode ne ho bewem but ni nyina so wo say asem ba na wa ye dem wonya abotre obi a woni grievance so obi a woni consent nti say de na ye hwe say na de anim obi a beti ne ho ase na say wo fele say bia wo yi won asin chen no mo be ka asem na ye fefefe because wo say wudi kan wo course and say wundi bemye nti ye hwe nim say bia parties obi akoma to ne ye ma na say asem wo de ko na say wo bua so 10 million wo de be ma na say po be ma mu bimpa obi a play role e wo eye sa anwum e ohini obi a benye na mfo kaka say na say eyi say your Obrafo win case no bo mo de an pe kakra ma time because on na ye feature na me so me de minim mu asem ba say na be ye bia mu number ya asem na ma da say bibia kwakoto din na anwumre ni mu kakra no na me hu say eye oba ya sa so Aisha Modi talent manager so your traditional leader I nche kra na wo si no hema I na o se eye wo Obrafo se wo asem bi okato wo to se wa abrabo renye ye o career renye wo se aba betodwa o chema wo kase boda eyi in 2009 album bi apesa na nka o de bedwa o chema wo se wo ni scale na wa yare na wa bofem kakra asha na kai asem ya meka bi nim amabo ne me na meka or chill live scene so na sa Instagram live mi shebi na sa chema wo manager obehu manager ka so wo escape pudu obi rope so dey business and a manager ya convince ni so on first can ensure album na eso abapa na te say wan why wo dey amakoso say no oye adihwehwam no pepa ne sa hey be baba body still mebu be no iti ekoba ne sa na tabiri ni scan o dey share yi mu o se be sine onya afaso bia wo so ye eno no o se o dey ahoya ya ne te say oya we odo di ni mu e ka che Obrafo so erunye ye na won say dey akwa o say wo say what sorry I could see Drake. Me miss kakra de me kakra wuntu amesi ni tintini mutieti ane say Aisha Modi say Scandal investing into Obrafo a year album some 14 years ago o Jeniska. Dofuna say ye de eye Obrafo ni Drake nsem kotugwa ye de sinchenga na ye koye nim de na ye ochame kwame rap doctor I we di 47 years na wotwi ya na uni say pictures say do say birthday na just we release photo shoot bi as birthday photo shoot na just wa dofo wa tamfo nyina just say ye share na just say ya wish happy birthday fefe na fi nkwa de demonstration eye rap doctor be release eye birthday photo shooter photo bia on share I say ne kokosugo ai say bibia egu ho na ye ba se kakra boxes pe eno hye na ochema nukamu kwedu ani de delay west and me boru say papa pehia wa ware de me pese me cancel ni bebe me say very decent policy me say me chiremu bebre ba picture ye da we wan say eye boxes yo hye ekura nyema mu kama na be to de mafochema na wa hyehye woni ama na wa park woni ama na odi abetu na me say oh rap doctor chirema wa launch a new underwear collection no akasa ni way or the abeto new business. It's what better way so no akasa be promote we say ade ni ye dia shana ye hu say to me kra ni ama che say kama na mpompo se amaboni person to be mane papa mpo a we say yeah rap doctor bibia e dedi so what kasa ai high kwam ye nchemu bebre na me hu say social media Ghana had obi asema no obi person okebi afo chema we dey indecent anena papa wo yire anika nani beje hu obi a wo ma na ase what say wa park we gudi na ade be to am say oh montom bo ase bibia samba munya abotere on one kasa out of his own management na atena no mo feel say it is good for the brand only say rap doctor the Ghana e baka so bi o promote culture and nama A1 inti on one kasa be to just mo kasa no mo say crapin polo be exposing hu na watch no is matter some for because o chame kwa me won chena me say oh ono nkwa na obi a wa model mema boxes at say ababe news at say mumu ma papa hu nto no rap doctor chirema o senti kamo pese anka o model new collection anka o she kentana we asem bi say o chame kwa me se mbisa mo ama ye mo te say mo criticizing nyina Ya Jackson says so ye baby mama and to say mo headache and be kaya fear no di to just wa kami e ya bofra baby boy fe on e partner ai na ebe to dwa na mafuche ma aha cause last year say ya Jackson the woman na say bia skin tight you wash e na bia atare bia won say bia dida hono mo ne ade show skin kakra na me so e offer yin say na say ode nyama ni nyina akuku kakra but won say ya me catch na watwi ya Jackson e release new photo bi ochema unse anybody no so ye sexy bon one wa wo hwe picture ye da ko ya unsa se share dress an bibia da so na as no fo ne nipple ho kakra na ye bibia kata kakra na ni body shorts yi kama ochema wa wo no ogina ho ya hu no wo hwo also bi a wa wo dey bi so still na body ni egina mu etemu body ni ye very kama unse as a bi pregnancy weight kakra but also still kro ogina ne nanso na post o make you on Instagram na me kwahwe me hu se we disable comment section because unim se Ghana ha de obeka na wa way na wo yi hu e de bia o ti bi wona so mti we nkwa de o hu so mo benya ne ho asema kan so no bomo de na o de o disable comment section na mafo chirema ya Jackson aye todu anso anya botarie na wo fo wa hiu na fine ko se but me kai wo se ni papa be de ba betu dwa se o se ne ba no no akasa na living life ono abone bra onu nya ba fe na ba beka se detective ya yi we 22 years onya abofra nti aya mo kasa na wo fo ntie ne na fine ko so onu akasa o sanso ye mother so she knows what she's doing nti abeya aya munja in life na man say na work and munja in life na just on ball life mbisa say body ye temu yin na ya Jackson picture your dropi ye na o se bon one say no chemo so o ye baby mama but wo hwe body na enye se bia beka se wa wo se wa nhwe ni ye ko bia nka nkyere wa wuri mpo munje ni mpo se o wo ba Bosomo April ya a TikToker and social media influencer Asantwa any kwekumenu interview aggressive show. No di to just say amanfo keka say na ne kunu betel ne manager friend cautious and betel ne warning say ade na tatare na yire as videos bi kakra na ya say amanfo chirema they are dating no benum say no ba ware for the ade na manager ya tatare ne sabato bi fiasem aya mo ka no ma ye de monya abocha ni mpo de nyene na ba judge because God the righteous judge. Na asem ye koso na asanso a kirema amafo abomoden aje se kwan bi mbefa so bia na tese won egu na aware painting the black to nikunu enu na waye but also no de once trust e wo also nikunu be hia no nikunu hu no twaseni sini ya mu no be hu no isanya afa na baby akasa wa ba ware nti obegya sini no de efutu ma me ase se wo ye adwuma bi no barima beto a se ma ne ya wa se we na abetumi o te dia betumi o mini nti ma nkasa bi a wa ware mi so se mi jai unjai no nkodi den na asanso a kire mam some time ago bi obi odaseni konseni damra bani ebeti hu kire ni kunu se on ne manager ese eye hotel ai oberima odokunu also okopie mu wo honom but be me sanso kan a back story bi cho asanso achema aso no obeko hotel ho with me manager no ofreni kunu so mira many eye cautious eye bibi e hotel nti say no bo hotel ni din kwa chen na ne kunu wo honom na obi sanso ti ho chen say e na atumi kabra hotel ho na ne ekoso na ekosi ni but ono na obeso de ne ko hu say de na ekoso ti asanso na anu mutom e okokuma enu show no so ni kunu e ba honom na oba honom so na kan ya bebi okaso won honom na owo na se beto de no mfutema is so person ukase so se eye ukunu on trust wana but eye cautious ne manager asanto manager e de emu nchema ba beto dwa o chemo nipa na o ti hu kokonsani na o ti hu che asanto akunu o ka che ni se ne manager na de ni ba be yesikedru nti hu se obi e wo se wo de wo yire kwa yesikedru de wo ye mbecheche kwa krakos na ebusuafo wo kofa ni fifie na o de na ba nti bibi ye na o beka se wo na wo ye responsible nti ni kunu yi eba hotel ba betwe se ye no kware se wa be sacrifice ne yire na ba oba na enye sa na tintel wo kirema eye mo amoye akokonsafo na what say wo boy aye say wo kunu aye say na ni nyina ehu hia but me pese me so make cast so say based on some social media reaction bi amesum me wo kirema papa ye ono aware asanto on complaining ye nti mu online in-laws social media in-laws aunties and uncles enu cry fam ho ben wo kirema mu ndi mu fi asem Fantana oboni nickname was a Caputana. Say the encraba to say Peace Hyde, creator of a Netflix series, a young, famous and African. Say the or the Fantana Ghana neo dikang aka a series when Abeka last year by just a month of preparation. And they are very nice. why it shows how say Africans yeah fair for the finest things in life. I mean say be actors no omudu omo yeah be Nigeria be South Africa na Ghana ni nka ho na wo chema peace high so ye Ghana ni nti e san kwode ni pa bi ka ho but wonti ya me catch Fantana oye nyumtu ni say de won feature no ewo young famous and African na busumi ya na next month May na wumbe premiere the season 2 of series ya make ho asemi na beto dwa na Fantana mame ane mame unso member of parliament for Jomo obeto dwa so ne ba ne they are very proud of her. Also no de ne ba ne ye de ni so ankasa also ne ba ne living dream because say ne bia Fantana say atenketen obo no modern ni nyom ni ade bibia brand ne ye solid no say they wakopiem young famous and African also no de ni Japan Fantana mame in Facebook post so sanso kaka ho say ne ba yi feature out say we debut young famous and African no chirima ni je ankasa ne ba ne living dream and sanso kaka ho say also we de nyamensa amensa ewo mu ankasa so de mama yen gina we so na yen twa yen ho kakra na ye kwa base de bia meka che nkomo de etefie tabak ama broni baba chemu nyina ama mo defe for me sanso ama wakwa ba woni chia te say ma bro no se me chiem say ya se na bia me catch my social media trends showbiz news nkomo na bia wan ti ase stories because wo pemu details a won se ha de ye nke bi nhwem se na yetena na ye de ba na te say ye siki mu views na moka wo social media na ninya ya abo no tofa na dere ma besomo na wo hwe social media trend be records wo che ma look alike. Say merman young guys be one was say was what kukra was say celebrities inti was a medical do can promise wom family wom Mr. Drew is the latest ones I mean who was say Shatawale wouldn't look alike Edem wouldn't look alike other artists and so ewum na enkomo boy bae na wan say akomoma fuchima media na ye den wan so won so cause ebe yi na nkwafu yi what won baby anka himpo na bete won kasa na asase bia na we ko interview na obisa won questions was most so onyama bi so there are other artists mo release projects so mo pe publicity munya it's more diverse what you are doing is not right but sometimes things are going on and they social media they are latest and I bi other stations so na that's a generating content any conversation so be I am months as and they be na media na be they be am bon do munya abotre kakra na nkomo yi bae na me dem so look alike here and can stay with social media and you say they won't be mainstream but Shatawale they are to just so look alike no as a mu ni na mo bese mo ye e se ba na nka bia mu pe plans and e be dis ka be brem na look alike in e fine e kosi him mafun su twema mabet me anyone because impersonation because enya wo na portray say you no mafu bi chema binum kwa just card perform but kofu ya wo so we look alike association wo chirema enya sa na ete wonje hu ska bia nka so wo ya artist na o te say person obele won for show wo so wonje ska bia e it says come on wo te say wo say munsi won hu enya no kware na medical e dia betu da so wo say sa boy no ye no te say medical wo say onjai no ye no so they say what bashi was a what to kui at a can promise look alike in I just say it's something be brave but I am kwame Eugene or don't so they have to just say they need then just anya man who also fadama boys in choir words I look alike watch one for one show but for me chirema I know so no family look alike no koni social media page who promoting stuff it also no there on share any problem bia na see kwan so de na no tun so sanko bi pa no so you look alike also no kwan podi anko be de obegu minute me be me bisa wo sa look alike nkomo no ne san kofa was a celebrities no bu be say so won so anase mu twema e say yes wa no enimanimu ya na kofa asem bia ba in the near future
find a path if you don't get idea to live this life that you want to live. People like Jacqueline Mensah, they there. People like Made in Ghana, them they there. They all the TikTok. They create young girls and boys. They create content.
Senator Zandi Kamel se me nto munkra. Ai mo aya mo body shaming. E na ne yefo no so. na oye kese na oye sei na atare na ohye no so nti e fata no o se man krai ntom mo mfa betum anyum sei so wa wunnim na musu be ka na be body shame no be bodua bebo dio se no ane no se afia yesimu enye na fede abakase mo be ka bibi na ahye no no abedi areho no abeso so no na adwen de dawo nti afia yesimu ni afia emfie da ye nimu wa wunim na bebo de shame no obehwe camera si hu na abese o criticize ni se na ote na ne yefo no o se wunim ni health condition wunim ni ekoso na abrabo mti onti asese ni se ni ote mu enkamwe discount so no de obede bebo mudua sin class za ni kamera oda abetu dua nti na mesanso aka ho se aya montomo boase somebody shame obi ono ma yese bia opese ni mu ye dru keke obi ono ma ofe dru obi o ye bibi saa na nko bebre sorry a flese obi enko faka se o me kese be wan se wa afechi na ko nu medru bi na se wedi ni ho boni nti mesem asemba se na aya mukọ social media uko social media Twitter na hu se no umulebu obi pan se bia enya me ankwa na wode ye merima nti mesrem abodi shame no aya mon enye me ka se mon til so munja na enfata mo na watwe de ensem bebre epie na eye osebo the Zaraman I on the Zion Felix interview bi na da ni YouTube channel Zion Felix asem na meki na odi to just say wo be ka ye nche kwa ye na oni ajagraja sa friendly be na wo ye na say wo competition na wo ya hye say na waka so se bo betumi me na ajagraja so aba wo betumi me sa anyama na it was just for fun one was trans no so person we bibi sa na do DJ nkofo ani na wo di kogui ni na mafo chima osebo da Zara say wo battle cheddar na kwa me bedi ako cheddar na wo say wo battle na osebo di na do this ma betudua o say sa ansem no mba bonte so person on cheddar ko battle on who has the finest clothes no betumi address o say debi okaka hu say interview on Zion Felix o say cheddar ko onye ne class waja to mu say o se bag a cheddar betu ska oba be se bia $300,000 akoto mabo obeto eni se na obetumi invest ska e wo nyama o hye mu o so ndu ni class nti o srem a na mafoche me ai na so be so wo class o se o jetum he has his class bobo nkofo bi din o se care du kra o no betumi afi so anytime but cheddar nkwande o so srem ankasa obi a wa bone bra o so di ndi man nye say yo so nka so baba tonti mo amohwenim se na nka bia social media be hu se bia osebo dressing no bisa cheddar betumi atoma boy na say combination yo se den combinations and calculations dey be enya maso na nkomo ya osebo eni Zion Felix D na Zion bisa se ne ma ya ahe osebo se ne ma ya nsia on me anan enewe no do papa pinyo no aye decision me ntumi mbekirem na me unse kofo kase na wa na me say oho mundi mu fiasem se ne de bia meka no na aye osebo ka hu so no de ne ni kone ma no ho ankasa ohwe won party uti hu bi se na onhwe ne ma no de ye dress no se ni nyina enye no kwaro se ne ma ni nyina oka won ben ne ho no de tu dwa se mrante so wo betumi a wo se santa wo tumi plan na baba tumi akokoteki another 10 bo so se wo betumi dia bomodinga na awo a se na wo baby mama wa ha wo se ne de bomodinga na se wo betumi agya no wetwa so but so chirema so no so ne se ne kwasa abofra piemu a obeja bofan na nkomo ya Zion Felix ene osebodi na me se emu echiri sem na anye osebode ochima caption Zion Felix my cra ene ase bia ni baby mama ba ko yo person portray me pese me bonidi no se ntwa kwem ba anye osebon na a complaining about Zion Felix caption ko be complain ba me pese me chem se musu tumi ko interview of course but me suggest so who the interview ni ba out me suggest to say you see that caption way in hammer on this and I'm sure says Zion Felix was obedi obetie nti sem na ekoba na no nti osebosi mamu nhwe nim so ne cheddar be competition bi also chema cheddar de onye ne class Body na se metwaso de alum say Easter edi kogu nche kraye na nwumtuni osanso ye preacher Sonny Badu o make post bi on social media na o chirema wetumi atene oyo to moja ai na se mi betu jana mafuchema we de mu ye rem kakra yakopon kwa na yete so ye miracle tumi dani nsu ekomoja ya ye de na Sonny Badu etumi ye sanse nche yi bi na mamso mugidi so ye men of little faith obi a yankopon sa wona so ye ne dwuma de sankos wakas wasasa bibia ko moja krampa ezi aka moja chije cause God is still in the what miracle business. Now, come on, you better to the man for the chairman. You be no praise the business chairman. Fracadam, mu or rem kakra. Send a ubedia to be any day a wawasem. Now, prophet kum chacha at the better just so say a yes on badu. Samurai no say so you say fake. O say enye no kware o andane hye ankomoja na ntesa manfo embo ntungu na meso oho osofo akokoye te se de bia se eye kum chacha ebo eye so ne bado echi obehwe ma o se sa ne tattoo yo se den okoye wa ka ho asem ene se mebebre a o chema eye so ne bado anka ne na manfo chema kum chacha se wu na wo se eye so ne bado miracle no ye fake dia ena wo se sa manfo beka se obeka wona me se eye adwebre touch not my anointing and do my prophet no harm nti asofo mienu na wanya wa asem ma mesrem wonka wansem ayo na watchi answer na mesor minimum bedin kra no maka said the last time me catch him say there you be say a promote Ghana made in Ghana nyum to say artist be project be of so the say album say EP say single you be match because be one ka say oh Ghana fu nyum ne alright but ye nyim ne to say obi nti hu nche say sa nyum papa yi hire bia obi den ye bia kokotin sama broni na watchi be say me catch you say ai bogo blay I interview with 3 News. I na me say Bogo Blay cause Bogo Blay enye neba o Django ne other hit songs he has a lot of hit songs but so the album be about to George was title ni Wailing Monster. I na album cover ne kra na me fe. No the munchire mo so album the project is a very beautiful one. Inti me ha me ni nka nkyerɛw inti bomaden anakɔ streaming platforms Bogo Blay na search ni new album Wailing Monster net tiemu nsɛm ne yɛde na nyom ba kɔ yɛ me de was our project no so sweet song no feature Slick any Kwame Eugene and no me de more de ankasa kwatie na ye de mami feedback na eye obi fofo so no so edi nwum ababeto dwa wenpo de EP I Olive the Boy o say Havana finally Havana is in so modiana ko ope EP bi netie na young boy na otimu nsema o amanfo so de bia kasa support your own so modiana pe Havana EP bi netie na no so be de say na ochi say yesia na so be social media na obeba na mami feedback ni more de Jackie and so edi new song to just single a friend Scar a episode ewo new single a friend Obra but more de anya bitie na me ba sorry so na me say me kan album back we musu ehwam wala si e di album be so a friend Therapy tamafo unya muntie mu ya ye keka me aka se me di ho adanse metie nwom no subo like emu hwam one say wala si na can do very deep it's more de ana mun streamy a project say yes single say your movies ai but more de ana just say pebihwe na say na de can support your own na say Ghana phone yenso yenko enim ti say wo pese weekend wo twa wona ase wo tie nwom pa say na makin EL so edi new single bi abeto your friend Chop Life and no as I say party anthem bisa ha but more de ana sa nwom bi netie na say ni nyina da say yenso ye promote because e bi akọ Apple Music go other platform they be Nigeria for new topic mama yesem kaka na yenko eni na watching so ama broni many mu shai nkomo e call so Drake men can say Obrafo versus Drake and Drake versus Obrafo ya say Obrafo na edi kan wo court nti Obrafo versus Drake me di mu sembrem Aisha mo di comment wa comment manche so de na asem abeto ni na mdi nya abesom me san so sedi me di nya ma chibepre social media trends celebrity news showbiz mun komo ankasa ne dinya bebremti da se ne ye besan so ehia mobomode na mo hwe other programs on GhanaWeb TV na so bomada yen connect to social media Paula Amaboni social media platform ni na say yen den yen tala da se ne ye besan so ehia makramo
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age. Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now, Susu sang pine, be a want to Nambia, a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange rate in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy? Download to Lemonade Finance.